Hi folks, this is Mr. Squire, and I wanted to welcome you to Algebra 1, the Credit Recovery Edition. I've realized that you may not have ever seen my face, so I thought I'd throw a picture up there. That is me a few years ago with my puppy Yanto. You'll see another picture of him all grown up. But I wanted to give you an idea of what the class is going to be like, what I'm like, the kind of teacher that I am, and stuff like that. So, pretty quick, basically want to talk to you about how you can reach me and the best way to reach me. Give you a little bit of information about me that, some of it's interesting, some of it maybe not so interesting. But I also want to talk to you about what my expectations are. And then I have a little list of things that make me crazy. I noticed that it happens a lot from folks in my credit recovery classes. So I just thought I'd point them out. And I just want to talk to you about how this class is different. Especially it being a credit recovery class, how it's different from a regular class. So let's start off with contact information. My email address is in your system, but it is, if you need to type it out, it's right there, bsquire@pikespeakonlineschool.org. And my phone number is 720-445-5320, but really the best way is to reach me by email, which I kind of get the impression from you guys anyway. I don't mean you guys personally, but just teenagers in general and high school kids prefer the email and the text. So yes, I can get texts at this number here. Okay, you may have heard this a little bit in some of the Meet Your Teacher sessions. Basically, this slide tells you that I grew up in upstate New York. I went to college on Long Island, which is right about here. I hope you can see that. Maybe not. On Long Island, right next to the city, and I just love learning, so I went to school, got my MBA, which stands for something that you're going to tell me later, and then I decided to start teaching, and I am working on a last class in another master's degree. So it is a master's in math with a teaching emphasis, specifically on secondary education. So it's all really about high school and middle school. My hobbies, which I don't get to spend a lot of time doing, but my first one is definitely sleeping. And I understand that it's a very popular hobby, especially among teenagers. So it's something that I love doing, never get enough of it, but it's, I think, my number one hobby. I do like to watch TV and watch movies. I usually don't pay too much attention to what I'm watching because I'm really pretty much busy doing this stuff down here, knitting and crocheting, something I really enjoy doing, and make sure I do at least an hour of it a night. It just really relaxes me, even when I mess up real bad. And then the other thing I like to do but never have time for is reading. But I like reading weird things. I like reading books about math, and I like reading books about teaching, and I like reading books about teaching math. So the big story here is I'm a nerd, pretty much. So, but I'm proud of it. Not at all embarrassed about it. I kind of just go with it and just be who I am. So as I promised you, I would show you pictures of my puppies. You saw Yanto when he was a little itty bitty puppy shortly after we adopted him, because they both are rescue dogs. And then the white and tan one is Tala, and I actually went for 2 weeks without a name, because we didn't know what we wanted to name her. So, but she finally got the name Tala, which I believe is the Sioux Indian word for wolf. So That's why she got that name. Not that she's at all related to a wolf type of dog, but we just call her that she's a pretty dog. So here's a couple of my philosophies about math. And you've experienced this. I know you have. Math can seem like it has a lot of twists and turns, especially because you do like one unit on one thing, one concept, and then another unit on another concept that seems like it's completely unrelated at all. So what my job is to do is to behave like your GPS and show you how these things go together. So I'm going to help you navigate through the course and identify those important landmarks or those milestones, which are going to be the really important stuff that you need to be learning. I usually ask students when I'm doing this live what these things all have in common. They're pretty, I mean, you can tell what they are. I didn't really probably have to label them, but I did. But the big thing is that they're all skills, and they need to be practiced in order to get good at them. And so does math. Math is also a skill. The thing about math is not only does it take practice to use, but it takes practice to know which tool to use and when to use it. And I think that's part of where a lot of kids, and I'm talking kids of whatever age, kind of miss the connection of so I've learned this new procedure, but I didn't learn when I'm supposed to use it, so I try and use it on everything, and that's not always the best way to do it. So again, that's my job, to help you navigate the world of math, and believe me, it is a world. So here's a little bit about what you can expect from me. First of all, I'm kind of laid back. I love to have a good time. I love to laugh, and just generally, have a good time, especially with my students, because they are the ones that make me laugh all the time. Because you guys are awesome. In addition to kind of being that way, you can also expect me to be to have respect for you and your family, because that's not only part of our social contract, but it is the one of the most important things I can do to help you learn, is show you how important you are and your family are to me personally, not just as a teacher, but personally as a person. So I will always treat you with respect, and if you ever feel like I've disrespected you, you have to call me on it. The other thing is I have very high expectations, which you'll learn about a little bit later, but I think and believe with everything that I am that everybody can learn math. And I believe that totally and completely. I believe that not everybody learns it at the same rate or at the same speed. Not everybody learns everything, the same thing at the same time. So I understand that people are different, but I do have high expectations that eventually you're going to get it. And I know that you are going to get it. And I'm going to teach you some positive self-talk to help you stop doubting yourself. I'm definitely understanding. I definitely understand that math can be hard. Sometimes people make it look easy. Sometimes teachers make it look easy. But I understand that that it can be hard. If I make it look too easy, call me on it, because I may have skipped a step that you guys need to know about, and I just do it automatically. So definitely call me on if something happens and we go too fast, or that I'm just not explaining something well enough. I can be reasonably flexible when life gets in the way. I understand that happens. That's one of the reasons why you chose online school. But there are some things in life, in families and things like that that cannot be predicted. I can't predict when there might be a death in the family, God forbid, or that there's some kind of family crisis. Just let me know what's going on, and we can work out a plan so that we can still finish and still be successful. I make sure that everybody is in a safe place where you're comfortable taking risks. Now, I will mention later that we're not really going to have class connects for this class, but I'm still okay with mistakes and taking risks. And one of the nice things about online school is that you can take those risks anonymously and safely and privately. So, which are kind of all the same thing, but I applaud people who take risks, and maybe you try something a little bit outside your comfort zone, and to me that's a risk. So I think that's great. I also try being as fair and equitable as I can. If an assignment is way beyond your level, I might give you a different one that might be more equitable to the place where you are in your math journey. So I try and do all of these things. And if I don't, I want you to call me on it. Some of the things that I expect from you, they're actually not too bad. So basically, we're in high school now. And so I expect, these are pretty much my expectations. I expect you guys to take ownership of your learning. If you don't want to learn it, you're not going to learn it. But you have to want to learn it. Not just because you want to, and not just because you have to, but it's something that we need to do. And to help you out with that, even though the schedule is on the class homepage of what to do on what day and when things are due, I'm also going to send you a weekly schedule of what you should be doing each day to stay caught up with the rest of the class. And the link to this video is actually on one of those. So you've already gotten one of those weekly updates, I call them. Also, on Mondays, if there's stuff that was due before that Monday and it hasn't been done, then I'm going to enter zeros into your grade book. Now, they look scary, and it'll bring your grade down. But the thing is, you can still do that work, and you can still get a score for it. And that zero will go away, and your grade will go up. Ideally, try not to get behind so we don't have those zeros. But sometimes, like I said, life gets in the way, or a lesson might take some extra time, longer than you thought expected it to, or longer than we thought it was going to take. So it happens, and the best we can do is try and avoid it. Now, I haven't mentioned too much about rewards, because I wasn't sure if I was going to do this with these classes, but I think I am, and there are opportunities where you can earn some rewards, and they're not necessarily physical rewards, so it's not like I'm going to send you candy or something like that, and these are not related to your grade. They're more motivational rewards, I'm hoping. So I'm not going to give you too much information about it, but I will tell you that Classcraft is coming, so we'll keep your eyes out for that. Alright, so I mentioned that I was going to talk to you about some of the things that absolutely drive me crazy. I don't know why I'm telling you this stuff all the way up front, because you guys are probably going to do it just to make me crazy. But some of the things that really drive me crazy is people not doing what they said they're going to do. And some of these things make me more crazy than others. your class is kind of special, so I'm almost expecting a couple of these to happen, so I won't get crazy about them. I'm thinking about doing assessments only. Is one that is possible to do and be successful in this class. Another thing I think that's going to not drive me too crazy, possibly not, well, you're not going to be able to do lessons out of order because I've set the class up so you can't, but submitting documents that don't match the assignment, or submitting blank documents, that's something that really just makes me kind of want to scream sometimes, but I don't, because I just don't, I'm not a screamer. So what's different about a credit recovery class than a regular class is that it goes very, very fast. We're taking a whole semester's worth of material that you've seen before, so none of it should be totally unfamiliar to you. You've definitely seen this stuff before. But I don't want you to rush through the lessons just to get them done, because that's not learning. The object here is to learn. So, but this class does go really, really fast. And the reason for that is, if there are other credit recovery classes you need to take, we want to free up some time so you can take those too. But most importantly is that you earn the credit, except you're going to earn the credit in half the time. So that's one of the reasons why the class goes so fast. And this class ends on November 3rd. So that's just about 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months, because this is September 10th. So to do, I think it's 9 units worth of work. So, but there is some special things about the way the class works and the way the class is set up. So, first of all, I did mention we will not be having Class Connect sessions, so I'm not going to eat into your time like that. But if you have questions or need help, please let me know and we can schedule something. I promise. Okay? So each unit actually starts out with a diagnostic test. Every single unit starts with a diagnostic test. And a diagnostic test only is there to see where you are right now. See what you know right now, at this moment in time. It doesn't cover everything that's going to be in the unit, and it doesn't count towards your final grade. But I still expect you guys to take them seriously. They're only about 15 questions. And they are required, because I've set the class up so that you can't get to the next lesson if you haven't done the diagnostic test. So you have to do them. Okay? Let's see. Completed tests, when you've done a quiz or a test or something like that, and you want to see what the correct answers are or go back and review, you can always get back to them in your grade book. The diagnostic test doesn't give you a detailed plan of what lessons you need to use. You need to go back and learn. Because, I mean, it's going to tell you that you've gotten this type of question wrong, but it's not going to tell you which lesson to go back and review. So, so it's something that we might need to work on together. We can, take a look at the diagnostic test, see what kinds of questions you missed, and then I can tell you what lessons you might need to do. I'm not going to do that automatically, because I don't have the bandwidth to go through everybody's diagnostic test individually and give them a full report. I wish I could. I would love to be able to do that. But you're going to have to really need to ask me about it and give me some times that are good to talk about it. So in addition to diagnostic tests, there are other kinds of required assessments. Um, quizzes, however, are not required. You can take a math quiz as many times as you want. Okay? Doing them over and over is excellent practice. So these are more like practice quizzes. Okay? And these are in the lessons that the diagnostic test would indicate that you need to do. So you want to do all the activities in the lesson and then do the quiz as many times as you want. It's a good idea to review the questions you missed, of course. You hear that all the time. I'm not going to harp on it, but I will remind you. If you're not understanding why you got the score you got, and you're a little bit confused because you thought you understand something, feel free to contact me, because I want to see you be successful. And I know you're strong enough to make that phone call or send that email. And we can talk about what your misunderstanding might have been. So I've even had, like I said in this last bullet, I've even had a situation last year when I was going through something and a student said, "Oh, that's totally different from the way my middle school teacher taught me. My middle school teacher messed me all up for the next 4 years." So we might be able to clear up some misunderstandings and things like that. So quizzes are great resources, but they are not required and they don't count towards your grade. Now, tests, on the other hand, are required and they do count towards your grade. As a matter of fact, tests are the only things that count towards your grade. So then there are two kinds of tests. There's a mid-unit assessment and a unit assessment. And I believe, I'd have to go back and check because I'm not 100% from my memory, that unit assessments have two parts. One is a computer graded and one is a paper assignment. Not necessarily a worksheet, but it's a more challenging part of the test. But you can do them an unlimited number of times. So again, most of the same thing that we saw before are going to apply here. Passing these tests also is required to gain access to the rest of the unit. So because they're required, I'm going to insist that you pass the test to go on to the next one. Because you know that math is built in such a way that what you're learning today is going to affect what you learn tomorrow. Or what you learn today is going to affect something you learn in 2 weeks. So we have to be able to make sure that you've got a solid foundation, that's what passing the test is, so that you can keep building on that foundation. And this last bullet is the same one from before. It's always a good idea to review the questions you missed so you can see where you made your mistakes. And if you're not sure where you made your mistake, contact me and I can help you find it, because that's what I'm here for. So that's really what's most different about my credit recovery classes than my typical algebra classes. And I truly believe that because of some of these perks and some of these things that help you be successful, like these multiple attempts and having to go in order, I think that there is no reason that you can't earn an A in this class. I believe, and actually I expect, everybody in this class to earn an A by the end of the block. So that's my expectation. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I will be asking you a question so you can just verify that for me when I send out this recording for you. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and again, thanks for taking the time, and I'm totally thrilled to be working with you. Thanks. Bye-bye.